Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, वीरेंद्र श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, कृष्णदास शिवगुण कृष्णदास प्रभु जी की जय. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you all
Krishna,
devotees.
Prabhu, Dandar Pranams to all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Very
Hare
after
Krishna.
long time. Haribol. Thank you very
Hare,
much.
Hare Krishna.
Lucky to have here in the class for us. Thank you,
Thank you,
Guruji.
Prabhu. Thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Well,
Krishna.
nearly 5 weeks, right? I think.
Yes, Prabhu. Last week I was little busy, so I was not able to join.
No, around 5 weeks now. You are
Yes,
not.
yes, yes. Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Holiday plus. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roji. We are lucky.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very
Hare
much
Krishna.
waiting for your Saturday class. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, yesterday, Thursday, we have completed up to 6.14 point. We reached the 14th chapter, 14.17. So we'll, 16. So 17 we will read today. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jemudire. Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktar Bhavati Nashtagi. Mugam Karodi Vachalam Pangum Lange Ade Girim Yet Krivadamaham Mande Paramananda Madhavam Sri Gurim Dinadarinam Sri Chaitanya Visharam Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Medinam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stabidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupa Vadamahyam Dadanti Supadantigam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudapadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagarjadam Sahana Degunadanyidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadudam Parjana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lilada Sri Vishakanyadamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Govesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarupya Kripa Sindhupeva Japatitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देव गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी वाचात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे ओम विष्णु कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे गदाधर जय हरे कृष्णा. Welcome all devotees once again for our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading morning session. Hare Krishna. So we are now reading for chapter 14, King Citraketu's Lamentation. It's the name of the chapter which we are reading now. So Shivana Prabhuji will be giving a small this thing. Those who are not attended. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we will start with verse number. Prabhuji, I will start verse 17. So,
Yes, Prabhuji, please. Yes.
that's the continuation. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. And Pranam, Hare Krishna. Verse number 17. Angira Uvacha Abhite Mayam Swasti Pragridinam Tatha Atmanaha Yatha Pragridibhirguptaha Puman Raja Cha Saptabhihi Angira Vacha Abhi Te Anamayam Swasti Pragridinam Tatha Atmanaha Yatha Pragridibhirguptaha Puman Raja Cha Saptabhihi. Krishna, translation purported by His Divine Grace, Abhecharana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. The great sage Angira said, "My dear king, I hope that your body and mind and your royal associates and paraphernalia are well. When the seven properties of material nature, the total material energy, the ego, and the five objects of sense gratification are in proper order, the living entity within the material elements is happy. Without these seven elements, one cannot exist. Similarly, a king is always protected by seven elements. His instructor, Vasmi or Guru, his master, his kingdom, his fort, his treasury, his royal order, and his friends. Translation once more. The great sage Angira said, "My dear king, I hope that your body and mind and your royal associates and paraphernalia are well. When the seven properties of material nature, the total energy, the ego, and the five objects of sense gratification are in proper order, the living entity within the material elements is happy. Without these seven elements, one cannot exist. Similarly, a king is always protected by seven elements. His instructor, and me, Swami or Guru, his ministers, his kingdom, his fort, his treasury, his royal order, and his friends. Puppet. As it is quoted by Sridhara Swami in the Bhagavatam commentary, Swami Amatyau Janapada Durghadrevina Sanjayaha Dando Mitram Cha Tasyaitaha Sapta Pragritayo Mataha. A king is not alone. He first has his spiritual master, the supreme guide. Then come his ministers, his kingdom, his fortifications, his treasury, his system of law and order, and his friends or allies. If these seven are properly maintained, the king is happy. Similarly, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, Dehino asmin yada dehi. The living entity, the soul, is within the material covering of the Mahatattva, ego, and Panja Tanmatra, the five objects of sense gratification. When these seven are in proper order, the living entity is in a mood of pleasure. Generally, when the associates of the king are quiet and obedient, the king can be happy. Therefore, the great sage Angira Rishi inquired about the king's personal health and the good fortune of his seven associates. When we inquire some from a friend whether everything is well, we are concerned not only with his personal self but also with his family, his source of income, and his assistants or servants. All of them must be well, and then a person can be happy. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shri Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Pranam.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Tandar
You.
pranams to all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So, sorry I was not able to attend in between due to the leave situation and network and traveling. Anyway, thank you and getting the opportunity again to associate with all of you. And it is getting, I am getting a lot of inspiration by attending these Saturday classes. Reading amongst devotees, discussing is always actually giving inspiration and purification in bhakti. So thank you for this opportunity. Even though I'm not qualified, I'm getting this opportunity to discuss. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, lucky.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So today we are discussing from chapter number 6. Actually, this main chapter is devoted to King Citraketu. So King Citraketu is a very, very important personality in Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is in continuation with the previous chapter where the demon Vritasura is killed by Indra. So it is in the end, it is said that, you know, the when Vritasura was actually killed, and normally when a demon is killed, actually everybody is happy. But here it is said that they are not happy when he was killed. So that's the reason why he's asking. Parishit Maharaj got this doubt. Why, when a demon is killed, normally, they shower flowers. Whenever Krishna is killing, they shower the demigods shower flowers and everything. And everybody is happy whenever Krishna was killing in Vrindavan. So many demons he was killing. But here the situation is opposite. So Parishit Maharaj got a doubt. Why, when a demon is killed, people, it is not actually the state is exactly opposite. So that then the continuation comes about
The sound is
Sound
not clear.
variation is there, Broji. In
sound.
between it becoming very low, then it
Okay,
increases.
okay, okay. So I will keep little here. So now the his past life is being discussed about Vritasura, how he was an exalted devotee. In that background, he was actually King Chitraketu. And now we are seeing that Chitraketu, even though he was a king and he was having so many wives, so many millions of wives, but he had a problem that he did not have any offspring. He did not have any son or for his, to take over further. And I can see the screen also shaking. I don't know because of Zoom or something. I don't know. Bro, for you also the screen is shaking?
No.
Did, okay. Here the screen is like
Uh-huh.
shaking. The words and all are like
Uh-huh.
bit shaking. Maybe network. I don't know. Okay. So So here, Vritasura, why everybody is unhappy when Vritasura was killed? Because he is an exalted devotee. Now the question comes, how he became an exalted devotee? In that connection, Chitraketu Maharaj been said here. Here we can see today's discussion. Normally, Chitraketu Maharaj was very anxious for a son. He married so many, but none of their wives actually. begot any children. So she was very unhappy. So normally in material world also, it is very important. We are seeing that, as soon as the marriage happens, after that 6 months, 1 year, like that, everybody goes into anxiety, the parents as well as husband and wife, they all
Yes.
ask, still you did not get child. And sometimes it is becoming very embarrassing for the wife also, like, because this is the main thing. The society keeps on asking, what happened, like that. So, and their life also, and Prabhupada also says, in a family, if there is no child, that family, you cannot experience that complete happiness. It is like an empty place. Because when children are there, then you get all these kind of interactions, you get a lot of emotions, happiness, and so many things. The family life gets fulfilled when you get a child. Without child, only if they are married, husband and wife, that family is actually not very happy. So same situation is here exhibited by Citraketu Maharaj, because even though he had so many millions of wives, because there was no child, he was always unhappy. He was very anxious for a son. So this is same for our material life is full of, this is called as kunta. Kunta means always we have anxiety. Even when after the child is born, then the child should grow nicely. That anxiety is there. After the child growing nicely, then we want the child to study nicely. That anxiety is there. After that, we are very anxious that he should get a good job. That anxiety will be there. After that, getting a good job, he should get a good marriage, good partner. That anxiety will be there. And then after getting a good marriage, then we want again good grandchildren. So this anxiety will never end in this material life. Material life means kunta. Always we are subjected to anxiety in whatever situation we are. Even we have maybe having millions of properties, but this is from, you can understand Chitraketu Maharaj. He was a king, he had so many wives. Same our situation also. Even though we may have everything, as long as we are in the material world, we are subjected to anxiety. We do not know what will happen tomorrow. Hmm? So that anxiety is being exhibited here. And normally in those days, the sages, they meet the king for advising, to inquire about their well-being. Frequently they visit and inquire. So here we can see the great sage Angira. Who was Angira Muni? Angira Muni is one of the sons of Lord Brahma. He is called as one of the mentals, means he's born out of the mind of Lord Brahma. So he's called as a great sage, Angira, and he's also actually the priest of demigods. So here, Angira Muni has come and he's discussing with the king. He's inquiring about his well-being. See, this was the protocol followed by the saints and sages. You know how they are talking, how they start the discussion. You can see very beautifully. Angira Muni is asking, my dear king. See how very affectionately he's calling, my dear king. I hope that your body and mind and your royal associates and paraphernalia are well. So when he's inquiring about the king, he's not only asking about the king, he's asking how is your body, not only with body. Now we are only asking when we are meeting people, we are asking how are you? Only that. Then they are saying I am fine. Here he's specifically asking how is your body, that means related to health, and how is your mind related to the mental condition of that king, and also your paraphernalia, royal associates who are with you always, and all the paraphernalia for the king. So here one analogy is given. What is the analogy? When the 7 properties of material nature, this material nature where we are living, this Brahmanda, there are 7 properties of this material nature. What is that 7 properties? Prabhupada is writing within the bracket, the total material energy, which is having 24 material elements. We know that. And then the ego. Ego means we are identifying with the body, right? That ego. And the 5 objects of sense gratification. 5 objects of sense gratification means taste, smell, touch, sensation, like that. The 5 objects of sense gratification. This together is called 7 properties. So the analogy is when the 7 properties of this material nature are in proper order, then the Jivatma in this material element is happy. Means, see, when everything around us, is very good, we have a good job, we have enough opportunity for sense gratification, good family, good children, and everything. No, normally the living at Jivatma is happy. So that's what written. When the 7 properties of material nature is in proper order, the living entity is actually within the material element is happy. So similarly, without these 7 elements, one cannot exist. The analogy is similarly, the king is also protected by 7 elements. Same like a Jivatma, or the living entity, when the 7 elements are good, then he is happy. Similarly, the king is also having these 7 elements. If it is having the 7 elements are in proper order, then he is happy. And what are these 7 elements? It is written in the translation only, is instructor or a spiritual guru. That is first one. Second is a king is always having ministers. Like in a government also, the prime minister is having so many ministers. So like without ministers, the prime minister cannot function. Finance minister, education minister, like that. So like that, the king, for the king is, first is a spiritual guru. The top hierarchy is spiritual guru or swami. Then second is his ministers. Third is his kingdom, because the king is ruling the kingdom. And for the kingdom only, we need ministers. And the fourth is actually his fort, which is his fort. Like every king, they have the fort, they build a wall, and they have a boundary also, his fort. Then fifth is very important, is treasury. In the material world, treasury is very important. Without treasury, there is no value for the king. And his royal order, whatever, is royal order means family. Basically, royal order means his brothers or his children and everything, and his friends. Friends means with the neighboring country, he may be having friends with the neighboring country, like that. So when this 7 is proper, then the king is happy. Similarly, the living entity is also happy when this 7 material energy is actually in proper order, like that. Great sage Angira is asking about the king well-being. Now, going to the purport, Prabhupada is quoting from Sridhara Swami in his Bhagavatam commentary. The verse is there. Swami Amatyo Janapada Durga Dravina Sanchayaha Dando Mitram Cha Tasyaitaha Sapta Prakrutayo Mataha. So always when he said that king is not alone, that means even when Krishna is coming, Krishna never comes alone. When king is there, always his ministers come. Like even in our place, like if the chief minister is coming to our place, never chief minister will come alone. When chief minister is coming, all his ministers and MLA, they will all come. That local MLA will be there. And then the minister will be there, and that area minister will be there. Then only the chief minister will come. Before that, they are all coming and making preparations, If next month the chief minister is coming to our area, 1 month before only this MLA, MP, they all come, they put asphalt road, clean the area, decorate the area. Then chief minister comes for some inauguration, like that. Same way, king also same way, and Krishna also like that. When Krishna came to this earthly planet, before that all the demigods taken birth, and they all prepared for Krishna's arrival. Like that, when king is there, king is never alone. When we say king means, he's always with his associates, with his kingdom, or sorry, with his associates means with his ministers and his family members. He first is, and he's first as his spiritual master, the supreme guide. So that was a system in those days. In our Vedic system, every king will have a guru, spiritual master. We have this Pandavas also, we see they have spiritual master. So everybody has a spiritual, every king will have a spiritual master to guide them. And the Brahmanas are called the advisors. The Brahmanas are well versed in the scriptures. So they will advise the king what to do, what not to do, for himself and for his kingdom, also for the citizens also. So the Brahmana is supposed to be the advisor of the king. And even suppose the king want to take some important decision for his kingdom, he will consult with the spiritual master or the Brahmana. So that's why he's called as the spiritual master is called as the supreme guide. Because we do not know what is right, what is wrong in this world. In this world, spiritual master is very important, because sometimes we think what is wrong, maybe it is right also. And sometimes what we think right is actually wrong. For example, we can say that generally everybody in this material world thinking Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. They think that if you help poor people, that is a service to God. But spiritual master is not advising like that. You can do service to people, but not ignoring the Supreme Lord. You have to do seva along by acknowledging that all this energy I am getting, all these properties, whatever is actually the grace of the Supreme Lord. So that is very important to understand, acknowledge that this Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. Actually, it is not actually. We are, generally the society is thinking that this is correct. But what is actual fact? That is not correct. Correct, no, Prabhu? Everybody is thinking, right?
Yes, yes.
Even when Jagasashi Prabhu was telling about Kerala, he was telling that
Yes.
when they are doing a lot of this, what is that, food
Another,
for
yeah,
life, and this one,
another,
happy.
yes.
They are happy because ISKCON is doing good seva, because what people want to see what we are doing for the people. Government is not interested what you are doing for God. Government is happy if you are distributing food, if you are distributing blood, you blood donation, this donation, education, vidyadan, annadan. So whatever they can see by physical thing, then they are happy. So that is what normally people think, when you help a poor person, then so it is not that in Krishna consciousness we are not supporting that, but we should acknowledge what is the source of this. So that is very important. Independently ignoring God and we are doing some seva, that seva will only bring us good karma, and that good karma will bind us in the material world by again taking birth in a very elevated stage of life you will get, but you cannot go back to God unless you are serving God. So that spiritual master will advise. Otherwise, we may think that this is what we are doing is right. Many people like that without spiritual guidance, they think that okay, I will help. I will run an orphanage. By running orphanage, I am doing very good thing. It is good to run orphanage, but not independent of. In Radha Gopinath temple also in Mumbai Chowpatty, there is orphanage. They are also running orphanage. Lot of children are taken care, but along with Krishna consciousness, that is accepted. Not individually ignoring Krishna, you are doing some seva to somebody, then that is not actually correct. It will only give you punya, but it will never take you to the back to the Lord. So that is why spiritual master is very important. Then after spiritual masters, immediate next to that spiritual master is the ministers. Then his kingdom. His fortification means normally the fort. Every kingdom has that fort, their border or boundary. Because a king cannot rule the entire world. Every king will have their own border. Up to this, the king will rule. Next out, the other side of the border will be the next king. And his treasury, his system of law and order, and his friends and allies. See, same thing now currently we can see for our current position also. We have a prime minister. Along with prime minister comes all the co-ministers, right? There is only one prime minister, and then there are so many ministers in our government. And then there is a country called India, and we have a border, near the Pakistan and near Bangladesh and near China. We have border. That is fortification. And we have our own treasury. We have our own gold. We have our own currency, and we have our own system of law and order. And also we have our friends, right? We are for India. There are some friendly countries who are very close to us. Like Russia, say they are very close to us, supporting our decision like that. And we also have enmity countries like Pakistan. They don't get good with us. They always fight in the border. So same thing only. Those days, now it is government, prime minister. Those days it was king. So but these seven things are very, very important. Friends are allies, law and order, treasury, fortification, kingdom, and ministers. If these seven are properly maintained, then the king is happy. The prime minister is healthy, or the king is happy because everything is in proper order. Similarly, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, Dehinosmin yata Dehi. Bhagavad Gita 2.13, where Krishna says that you are not this body, and when you die, only your body is here, you will take another body. Dehinosmin ta Dehi Kaumaram Yavanam Jara Tata Dehantara Prapti Dhirastatrana Muhyati. Yeah. The living entity, the soul, is within the material covering of the Mahatattva. Mahatattva means this. Before this material universe is coming, this prime ingredients is actually all this is Mahatattva. First is Pradhan. From Pradhan is raw material, then it is coming in together combination, it is Mahatattva. Then ego, then Panchatanmatra. Panchatanmatra means the five objects of sense gratification, that is taste, touch, sound, like that. Five sense objects of sense gratification. When these seven are in proper reality, the living entity is in a mood of pleasure. When these are all very healthy condition, we can enjoy. Okay, so that is very important. Generally, when the associates of king are quiet and obedient, the king can be happy. So that is also an important point. When the ministers should support the king, otherwise the king cannot be happy. Therefore, the great sage Angira Rishi inquired about the king's personal health and also the good fortune of his seven associates. So this is how when the saints or sages, they meet the king, they follow the proper way of inquiring, not just asking how are you. No, they have that proper protocol. Like even here you can see in the Middle East, when the two Arabs they meet, they don't just ask how are you. No, they ask for 7, 8 questions. How is you? How is your family? At least 2, 3 minutes they will continuously talk. Correct, no, Prabhu? You heard, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Continuously they will ask. Maybe it will go for 5 minutes only inquiring. They will tell yes, 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 yes. Then ask this one, Tamam, this, then finally. So that is the etiquette or protocol to ask not only about the person, about his family, about his health, about his friends, and whatever. No, that was the system. When we inquire from a friend whether everything is well, we are concerned not only with personal self, but also with his family, his source of income, his assistance. So when we ask somebody, is everything going on fine? That means not only with that person, with all his surroundings, his financial condition, his mental stability. Nowadays, physically we see a person is healthy, is going to gym, is well built, but mentally many people are getting affected. So many things because modern life is full of rat race for competition. There is a job insecurity is there, financial instability is there. So a person may be externally looking very healthy and maybe smiling also outside. And all of a time or suddenly we see one day he is committing suicide. We see many times Bollywood actors also, no, they look very nice. And suddenly, after one fine day, we read in the news that this person committed suicide because their mind is not healthy. Because so much problems they are facing nowadays. And not only actors, but normal people also, I'm saying, in the modern days, we are getting so much stress. So much stress because of so many things are going on around us and it is all affecting us. So this Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, when we are regularly associating, daily touch with the divinity, they say. Daily touch with divinity. These are instructions from Supreme Lord. So when we read Bhagavatam, we are in touch with the Supreme Lord. So these material things, how we can solve when we are using the spiritual instructions. When we get spiritual instructions, then that is spirit will have so much power. With that spiritual instruction, these material problems can be solved. Because the material problem cannot be solved with only material solutions. Cannot be solved. One material problem is there, you will give one material solution. Then from that solution, one more problem will come. Then from that, you will apply one more material solution. From that solution, one more problem will come. That is the nature of this material world. So, but when you are applying spiritual instruction, then this material problem will slowly subside. That is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. When we are regularly hearing, we understand about this material nature. We understand the importance of connecting with the Supreme Lord. We understand the importance of chanting the holy name. With that strength, we can actually manage the material problems. So in that way, we can see that we have to every day be in touch with the daily touch with the divinity. By daily touching with the divinity, like by reading Bhagavatam, is touching the divinity every day. In that way, we can actually handle the material perplexities. All of them must be well, and then the person can be happy. So material world, if a person has to be happy, his family should be good, should have a stable source of income. Now, all these things, then only a person can be peaceful. If suppose a person is not having enough money, then he will be always anxious. He has to take loan money from other person. He will ask money, and so many problems will come. So normally these things are, as a king, you should have all these 7 things to be happy. A family person also should have all these 7 things to be happy in this material world. So that is the way of inquiring. The Angira Muni is inquiring about when they are meeting, the king is inquiring his well-being in them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So any questions or any comments or anybody want to add any points related to this? Hare Krishna.
Anybody?
Okay, Prabhu. So if there is now a discussion, we can go to next verse.
Yes, yes, we'll go to the next verse, Prabhuji. Somebody is. Okay, verse number 18. Okay, somebody want to read? Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother. Please.
6.14.18 Atmanam prakriti swaddha nidaya shreya apnuyat rajnya thata prakrutayo naradeva hitadayaha Atmanam prakriti swaddha nidaya shreya apnuyat rajnya thata prakrutayo Naradeva Hitadayaha. Translation. O King, O Lord of humanity,
Sorry,
O
Mother.
King, O Lord of humanity, when a king directly depends upon his associates and follows their instructions, he is happy. Similarly, when his associates offer their gifts and activities to the king and follow his orders, they are also happy. Translation once again. O King, O Lord of humanity, when a when a king directly depends upon his associates and follows their instructions, he is happy. Similarly, when his associates offer their gifts and activities to the king and follow his orders, they are also happy. Purport. The actual happiness of king and his dependents is described in this verse. A king should not simply give orders to his dependents because he is supreme. Sometimes he must follow their instructions. Similarly, the dependents should depend on the king. This mutual dependence will make everyone happy. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you,
Hare-
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Motherji.
So again, continuing with the inquiry with Angira Muni and King Citraketu. So again, here Angira Muni is continuing his way of inquiring. O King, he's saying, O Lord of humanity. Means he is as a king, he is in charge of the complete human beings in their kingdom. So when a king is saying, Angira Muni, when a king directly depends upon his associates and follows, see, not only the king, we say the king is a topmost person, but he also depends upon his associates and follows their instructions. Means during a problem, he takes their advice, he follows their instruction. Then, it is like a mutual that provides the purpose of this mutual dependence will make everyone happy. It is not like, Hitler that whatever I say, you should follow. Everybody should obey to my instruction. Like that, if the king is there, the subjects cannot be happy in that kingdom. Like Kamsa was there. He was just, like one-man show. He was thinking that everything should go as per my instruction and my will. And he was actually torturing the citizens. Kamsa was there like that. So like here we can see, it is not like that. It is a both way around. The king is also dependent upon the associates. The associates also dependent upon the king. So what is the king? So they are depending on associates is to get their advice and follow their instruction. And what way the associates are depending on the king? Because the king will give them gift or whatever he will help them for their living sustenance. So the king is giving them gifts because those days there is no payment. There's only they are giving some gold for their service or some kind of valuable gems like that. So when his associates also offer their gifts and activities to the king to follow his orders, they are also happy. So both ways, they are happy. And purport, a very short purport, Prabhupada is writing, the actual happiness of a king and his dependence is described in this verse. A king should not simply give orders to his dependents because he is supreme. This is what I said, the example of Hitler or Kamsa. Modern day is Hitler and the olden day it was Kamsa. Sometimes he must follow their instructions as well. Similarly, the dependents also should depend on the king. So it is said like this mutual dependence will make everyone happy. Like in a family, there are husband and wife. The husband is very dominant and he does not listen to his wife instruction or what wife advice. Then that family is not happy. Similarly, if the wife is dominant and always she only instructs the husband. So it is like a mutual dependence. Both should listen to each other. Whatever good advice, whatever is whoever is giving, that should be taken. And if there's like kind of understanding and cooperation, both are then it makes a happy family. So with proper understanding. Same this is nuclear in a small scale. When it goes to the country, same it applies to the king and his subjects and his associates. So same with the world also in a larger scale. And that's why Prabhupada said if everybody is Krishna conscious, like in now Krishna is our father, or Krishna is can say when we follow his instructions, then we are also happy. We are happy. When we are happy by seeing us, then Krishna also becomes happy because we follow his instruction. So mainly in Krishna consciousness, what we are mainly focusing is to follow the instruction. That's what Vani. We are actually following the instructions of our spiritual master. Spiritual master gives us instructions. When we follow, the spiritual master becomes happy. Because following the instructions, we also become happy. In this sense, this is applicable everywhere. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll go for next verses, Prabhuji. Very
Okay.
small. Okay, verse number 19. Very. Mataji, anybody reading?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Page number 9. Abhidwara prajamatya pritya srenyatha mandrina paura janapada bhupa atmaja vashavartinah. Abhidara prajamatya pritya srenyatha mandrina paura janapada bhupa atmaja vashavartinah. Translation. O King, are your wise citizens, secretaries, and servants, and the merchants who sell spices and oil under your control? Are you also in full control of ministers, the inhabitants of your palace, your provincial governors, your sons, and your other dependents? Translation once more. O King, are your wise citizens, secretaries, and servants, and the merchants who sell spices and oil under your control? Are you also in full control of ministers, the inhabitants of your palace, your provincial governors, your sons, and your other dependents? Purport. The master or king and his subordinates should be interdependent. Through cooperation, both of them can be happy.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Guruji, we'll read one more, next one also very small. So we'll read that also. And
Yes, bro. Yes.
okay. Gita Mataji, read verse number 20 also.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Verse number 20. Yasya atmanumashachesya sarve dabdushaga ime loga sabala uchandi sarve balimadendrida. Yasyatmanuvashachesya sarve tadvashaga ime loga sapala yachanti sarve balimadandrida. Translation. If the king's mind is fully controlled, all his family members and governmental officers are subordinate to him. His provincial governors present taxes on time without resistance, and what to speak of lesser servants. Translation once more. If the king's mind is fully controlled, all his family members and governmental officers are subordinate to him. His provincial governors present taxes on time without resistance, and what to speak of lesser servants. Perfect. Angira Rishi asked the king whether his mind was also under control. This is most essential for happiness.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so verse number 19 goes like this.
Yes. So here also it is written through cooperation that both of them can be happy. So Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita also that the living entity is neither enjoyer nor renouncer. We are actually cooperators. Cooperator means when you cooperate with the Supreme Lord's will, then we can be happy. So this cooperation is actually very, very important. So then only we can means attain that happiness when we cooperate with the plan of the Lord. Like Arjuna also initially was hesitant to fight the battle. Later he cooperated according to the will of the Lord. Karishye Vashanam Tava. I will act according to your instruction. So cooperation means acting according to the will of the Lord. So in that cooperation spirit, we can be happy here. So that's what written in this 19th verse. Then 20th verse also, 20th verse actually, Angira Muni is asking about his mind, whether his mind is fully controlled. So that is very important. Control means our mind should be in proper control. Then only we can be happy. So proper writes here, Angirishi asked the king whether his mind was also under control. Okay, this is most essential for happiness. So happiness, how do we get? It is only when your mind is under control. An example, we can see that when the Duryodhana, he was having all his kingdom, all his family, wife, children, everybody is there. He was in royal affluence because the Pandavas were sent to the forest. But still, he was not happy. Why he was not happy? Because there is one quality called as jealousiness or envy. So he was not able to tolerate the affluence when he went to Hastinapur, when he saw that the Pandavas are happy, They built a palace, we know that that Maya Danava built a very beautiful palace where he also saw the water as like he fell down and all those things. When he saw the royal affluence of Pandavas, Duryodhana, even though he was having everything, he was not happy. So why? Because of one quality called envy. So like that, in our mind, there are 6 anarthas. So the 6 anarthas we know: kamam, lust; krodham, anger; kamam, krodham, lobham, greediness; moham, illusion; mada,
Malsari.
and matsarya. Matsarya is actually envy. So these are this is the problem. When the mind is not under control, means these anarthas are taking the control. Maybe we have too much lust, kamam. We may have greediness, and we may have jealousy. We may have anger too much. So when any of this anartha is taking control, then we cannot be happy. So we may be having good wife or life, you can say good family, and we may have everything good going good in our life. But because of this one anartha, or two anartha, or three anartha, our life will be miserable. Even though your health may be good, perfect. Our health may be good, family is good, everything is good, our financial condition is good, our children are good. Still, if this anartha is there, like I am having envy. In my family, everything is good. But I am seeing that my neighbor is also very happy. Then because of the envy attitude, I cannot be happy. So that's why proper rating. This is the mind is under control, means these anarthas are actually removed from the mind. That is, then only the mind comes under control. That's why we are actually chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This Hare Krishna Maha Mantra helps us to purify our mind from all these anarthas. So they give a very nice analogy, like our body is like computer, and our mind is like this software, and this all these anarthas are like the virus. So this virus, what it will do, it will affect the software. And now recently, last when I was traveling back July 19, I was coming back. That day it was a blackout. They say blackout or blue screen. Blue screen means thousands and thousands of flights were cancelled that day all around the world, because when they were updating the Windows, some kind of error code, some kind of wrong coding was also updated along with that software update. That is like antivirus. They are constantly giving the updates from another company. That's another company is giving the virus updates for the antivirus updates. So when Windows are automatically updating, because of that error coding, the whole system got hanged throughout the world. All these flights, more than 5,000 flights were cancelled on that one day. And everywhere, it was like, so when I came, the computer was not working, but at least the flight, Indigo, they managed by writing in the hand. So boarding pass and everything, they write by hand, the baggage tag, everything. So it taken 4.5 hours for them to complete only boarding. So it was delayed, flight was delayed, but at least flight came. But throughout the world, I heard even Kuwait Airways, Jazeera, everything was cancelled that day. Because of that blue screen, the whole Windows was not working. So like that, this software is actually that Windows, like our software is our mind. And all these anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, these are like virus. When it will affect the mind, the software will not function properly, or the function efficiency will go down. And this, whatever we are chanting regularly, sincerely, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it will help us to, it is like an antivirus, it will help us to purify all these anarthas. And then, the mind can become controlled. When the mind becomes under our control, then actually we can become happy. This is the most essential for happiness. Prabhupada is writing one statement is giving purport, but a very important, powerful statement, that when the mind is under control only, it is very, very important for our happiness in this material world. Hare Krishna. So we can go to the next verse also, I think. One more verse.
Yeah, only translation.
21 and 22 we can go, because the 21 does not have purport. So we can recite 21 and 22 together. 22
Yeah.
will go.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Somebody want to read, or I will continue?
Hare Krishna, I will read, Prabhu.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you.
Atmana priyate natma, atmana priyate natma, parataswata evam, lakshe alabhya kamam evam, labhye lakshya alabhya kamam tvam, chintaya sabhalam mukham, chintaya sabhalam mukham. Translation: O King Citraketu, I can observe that your mind is not pleased. You seem not be have achieved your desired goal in this because you yourself or has been caused by others. Your pale face reflects your deeply anxiety. O King Chitraketu, I can observe that your mind is not pleased. You seem not to have achieved your desired goal. It is because of yourself or has been caused by others. Your pale face reflects your deep anxiety. Hare Krishna.
Next one,
Next one.
22.
Yeah. 22. Evam vikalpito rajan vidusha munina napi saha. Evam vikalpito rajan vidusha munina saha. प्रस्रायवानातो अभ्याः प्रश्रयवानतो अभ्याः प्रजाकामास्ततो मुनि प्रजाकामास्ततो मुनि. Translation. O Sukadeva Goswami said, O King Parishit, although the great sage Ankira knew everything, he inquired from the king in this way. Thus, King Chitraketu, desiring a son, bent low in great humility and spoke to the great sage as follows. Sukadeva Goswami said, O King Parishad, although the great sage Ankira knew everything, he inquired from the king in this way. Thus the king Chitraketu desired a son, bent down low and humility, spoke to the great sage as follows. Since the purport. Since the face is the index to the mind, a saintly person can study the condition of one's mind by seeing his face. When Ankira Rishi remarked about King's discolored face, King Chitraketu explained the cause of his anxiety as follows. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Okay.
Hare
So,
Krishna. So,
21.
so exactly we are coming to this session. The 17 to 21, whatever we read today is actually Angira Muni is discussing with the Citraketu about his well-being. So from tomorrow, when we are reading 23 to 26 is how now Citraketu will start explaining. Citraketu Vacha from 23. He is explaining what is the reason for his lamentation. So that will be from 23, 24 to 26. Citraketu explains the cause of his anxiety. Here, proper right face is the index of the mind. That means, so you can see that Citraketu, even though he had everything, still he is having that sad. No, like we are also seeing people, we know, see why you are looking dull. From the face we can observe what something is wrong with the person. So like that here, Chitraketu Maharaj face is reflecting his anxiety or his lamentation. So Angira Muni is asking, proper writing, since the face is the index of mind, a saintly person can study the conditions of one's mind by seeing the face. A saintly person, sadhu, when he's seeing our face, he can understand that some difficulty we are going through. So, Angira Muni Rishi remarked about King's discolored face. Then King Chitraketu explained the cause of anxiety as follows. So now Chitraketu Maharaj will start speaking from verse number 23. What is actually, why he is actually lamenting. Then he will explain his situation. Then of course, then Chitraketu Maharaj will be blessed by the saints to get us in. That will be following after that. So that we can continue from tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
So
that
yeah, yeah. So
Thank
this
you.
is what we see that today we are discussed whatever Angira Muni, how he met King Chitraketu, how he discussed about his well-being, about his king and associates. Also, he asked about the healthiness of his mind and whether his mind is fully controlled and why then your face actually is actually very pale and like that he's asking Chitraketu Maharaj for his reason for his lamentation. Chitraketu Maharaj will speak from verse number 23 on.
We'll
Hare
read
Krishna.
it. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guruji.
Prabhu, thank you for giving the opportunity.
Wonderful. Hare Krishna. So we have completed up to page number 22. So today, from tomorrow, we will start from 23 onwards. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shivana Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam Prabhu, for
Anybody want to add, Mataji's Prabhuji,
Yes.
anybody want to add anything, please feel free
Uh,
to add.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
So,
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
yeah, we have read from these 2-4 slokas what is for the peacefulness of a mind. Means how to we have to instruct the proper instruction right? From this spiritual master, that we will be happy. Proper orders will be, you have to execute it. Then
Yes.
what is that? You have to, if the peace of mind means mind, it is fully controlled. Without mind control, we are not in a position to be happy.
Yes.
So yeah, there is a, so even you have to, even in family life also, the instruction will be properly channelized. That is an important thing we have to. I understand from this reading. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for sharing your understanding. Anybody else? Mataji, say anybody want to share anything?
Anybody? Mataji, Sarvada Mataji, anything to say?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the nice explanation. As Prabhu said, the importance of spiritual master. When you are confused in your life, we have to surrender to the spiritual master, and submissively we can take advice from the spiritual master. An example is given in Dhruva Maharaj pastime also. When Dhruva Maharaj was fighting with the yakshas, they are very mystical persons. So they put Dhruva Maharaj in illusion, and then some sages came there and they advised Dhruva Maharaj to use the Narayana Astra. So there Prabhupada writes that the sages were like a spiritual master that they were advising Dhruva Maharaj to take shelter of Narayana Astra. So Acharyas are giving commentary that when you are confused, you take shelter of spiritual master, and the spiritual master will advise to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Very instructive.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shrima Prabhu, I think if there are no further things, we can
Yes,
wind up.
yes, Puja, I think we
Okay,
can.
I think now Chaitanya Charitamrita is postponed to every week, Wednesday evening.
Yes,
Are you
yes.
aware of that, no, Prabhu?
So it will be on 8th,
Every
I think.
Wednesday. Coming Wednesday, we will start 7 p.m. Same, instead of Saturday, Mataji, Deepti Mataji has raised hand. Bro, please you can ask Mataji. Igma Prabhu.
Mataji, you want to say anything?
Deepti Mataji.
It's Ratna Mataji, it's daughter.
Okay. Okay. Her hand was raised, that's why. Okay, bro. So Wednesday will be same instead of Saturday will be, because Prabhuji already having some class on Saturday. So
Yes,
it's
so
like
we'll be changing.
difficult to handle both classes for him. So yeah, he asked us. And finally everybody agreed for Wednesday. So Wednesday we will have class same 7 p.m. local time, 9:30 p.m. Indian time, bro. Starting from coming Saturday, from coming Wednesday.
Coming Wednesday, yeah.
Yes, bro.
Coming Wednesday is 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Yeah. No, 7.
Yes.
7.
Yeah, Wednesday is actually 7.
7th.
Correct.
Yes, yes. Okay, fine.
Correct.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna. So we'll chant it 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Shivaganapraji as well as all the devotees who are present today for everybody's spiritual progress. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.